In 1969, we had fairly recently supplied a console to ABC Television, one of the British independent program production companies, and they were using in that console a limiter compressor which came from Pi being one of the Philips companies. And it was actually not a bad limiter compressor, but the problem was it lacked reliability. It got too hot, and so ABC said, if you can produce something, a product which would sit in the same physical space, the same hole in the console, and will serve the same purpose. I was given a very short space of time, something like 3 to 4 weeks, in which to do this. And they said, if I can produce a satisfactory design, there would be an order for a substantial quantity of these. Well, in my front living room, we had no lab. It had been taken over by production, and so I was sitting at a desk and working. What in the world was I going to use as a control element in this device? There were no such things as VCAs in those days. You couldn't just go and buy the IC and put it to work. Well, it occurred to me that the diode is a non-linear device with a huge amount of distortion, but if you configure it in a bridge format, you can get rid of quite a lot of the distortion, and so you can apply audio across one set of contacts, and you apply your control voltage across the other side. It's a classic bridge configuration, and by carefully choosing the limits of control and signal, it gave quite a good account of itself. So I used this as a control element, and then actually used the same configuration in reverse to derive a control voltage. I used existing amplifiers that were already in stock. For instance, the output stages that we used to drive the lines in the consoles were the same circuit exactly, with some minor changes in the configuration to change the levels. But I was able then to put everything into the same kind of format, same kind of modular format, putting 3 of them together, which you can see here is 3 line amplifiers glued together. And the amount of control I was able to get in this configuration was actually a good deal more than my competitor was getting. So what we were getting was a very nice control curve, a very sweet sounding compressor. The limiter was virtually, it was a brick wall limiter, which I was fortunate to be able to do that, and all within a very short space of time. Well, the customer liked it, provided us with an order, and subsequently there were a number of derivatives of this limiter compressor. This started off as the 2252. It went through the 2253, and this one, for instance, is a 2254. And, for the life of me, I cannot remember what all the differences were. There were some quite subtle differences, and we used that kind of format for a great many years. So that is really the story of how that limiter compressor came into being.